Hey guys, what's up? I put out a post asking you if you had any questions, as I wanted to create this video for you to thank you for the 10,000 subscribers, and hopefully the next video I can make like this would be 100k, which would be awesome. Alright, cool, let's dive into these and have a look. That's a great question. Best slap bass in a K-pop track. Ooh, I absolutely loved that slap bass fill in Wannabe by ITZY. That was an incredible fill. I'm sure you may have seen that in my reaction video. I think I yelled so loud it distorted the mic. Girl Problems by AZODi. Now, I kind of get the vibe it's a processed sort of slap bass, but it feels so good, regardless if it's processed or not. From Jackie Orange, what would you be doing if you weren't a K-pop producer? I would probably be a video editor slash director. Technically, I've been a video editor longer than I've been a music producer, because I used to make a lot of tour videos when I was in a band years ago. It's the only other thing to me that's really satisfying and that I get a lot of enjoyment out of, and I get to express creativity in a lot of the video edits. If I could switch all the time that I put in music into another craft, I would absolutely love to be a concept artist for a big AAA gaming studio. Environments particularly, I think creating worlds with your hands and imagination is absolutely fascinating. Do you need a formal music education to produce music? Are those with credentials get accepted more, or is the music you produce enough to make you qualified? So, really great question, and just off the bat, I have barely any formal music education. I studied music at school for a few years, and I went off to do a songwriting diploma for a year at BIM in Brighton, and straight up that year was incredible and I learned a lot. But having a grade at the end of it does not matter at all, and you'll be surprised how far the gap is from finishing education to actually becoming an established artist. There's a massive area that no grade would really cover. Now, I get it in traditional jobs that would be more important. If you're generally a nice person, you are very good at what you do, and you're patient, hardworking, and all those kind of desirable qualities, you will get very far. No one in my entire musical career has gone, "What was your grade at school?" Like, ever. Alright, one from Avery G. What got you started in the music industry, music production? So those are actually two answers to that one. Music industry started out as me being in a band and wanting to write pop rock music and then use the band as a vehicle to deliver those songs that I'd written or co-written. Music production, I felt that I could not get enough of my creative ideas in my head out onto my guitar alone. I felt that my guitar playing skills had flatlined. I didn't really feel the need or desire to become a better guitarist. I wanted to get more of my ideas out onto a computer. So from Kristen, what do you consider to be your essential tools of music production? So I would say in this question, Cubase, Kontakt, Serum, membership to Splice, and Anna 2, the Slate Bundle. Those are my go-tos. I use them consistently all the time. All right, interesting one from Jim. What do you think about C-pop? C-pop's really fascinating, and I've had a few leads come in for C-pop. Now, in my opinion, C-pop is definitely sounding more towards the J-pop sound as opposed to a K-pop sound. And what's really interesting about it is they integrate, I feel, a lot more of the traditional instrumentation that you would get from China and put into modern pop production, which is really cool. Yeah, C-pop just has its own thing, and I feel that I would love to learn more about it and definitely would like to write more for there. Do you believe in astrology, and what's your zodiac sign? From Splash Gamer. Kind of in the middle with astrology. Maybe some of it's true, maybe some of it's not true. And my zodiac sign is Leo. My birthday is the 14th of August. I want to know if you have any tips for new songwriters, producers, because during quarantine, I'm trying to occupy myself and try to make music with no prior knowledge. Well, off the bat, it's really good that you've started the journey and you're trying to keep yourself busy during quarantine, because I know as well as everyone else, it's pretty tedious. I think the biggest tip for someone who is new is that you need to be having fun when you're doing this. That's the most important thing that's going to really spark the interest and creativity and help you get to further points with this. I know for me that I was absolutely terrible when I started out. I remember the reward feeling and the satisfaction of having an idea in my head and getting it down onto a computer. Even if it sounded awful, the mix was non-existent, and I'm sure I'll probably make a video sharing with you guys some of my oldest productions. Studying tutorials, that's kind of how I learned, asking questions in Facebook groups, and making sure that, you know, you're giving as much as you're receiving online, like helping people out when they need it and offering help where you can. People say there is a chameleonic nature is what makes K-pop a genre, a constant change in styles. So do you think that if K-pop producers start to have consistency, is K-pop in danger to go down in popularity? That's a very interesting question. Generally, it's considered better to have a lot more, I feel, different styles under one record. And especially with SM, I find that they're a lot more innovative in one album. Whereas with JYP and YG, for that matter, they tend to stick to more of a sound for an album, and that's generally more popular in the West. And if you were to mix up all the genres in an album, maybe Western audiences would find it quite jarring. And I was always taught, you know, in my songwriting classes, that you want a consistent sound. And even when I had a manager, every time I would try and do a little bit adventurous in the songwriting in a band, they would always go, no, you need to rein it in, and you know, you have one sound and you do that sound really well. So no, I don't think it's going to go down in popularity. There's many K-pop producers who have had a consistent sound, like Teddy Park is a prime example. It's not just the music, it's the choreography and the fashion and intricate writing traits that we all love that Western pop music doesn't integrate as much. What's the song that impressed you most from a purely technical point of view? Superhuman, NCT 127, that was DJ Tak or Tak. I think I'm at a fairly good professional level, but when I hear his music, I'm absolutely mind blown. Like I can't get my head around how he has all these great ideas, how he creates these certain sounds, these certain chord progressions that he uses. Everything that I think is very cool in music, he does so well. So always, anything that he's going to put out, I'm probably going to be a bit of a fanboy over. One from Alexandra. Do you know what MBTI is? And if yes, then what's your type? For people who don't know what that is, it's the Myers-Briggs personality test. The thing about this test is it's considered quite accurate. So yeah, I have done it before actually, and I am called a assertive mediator. My code is INFPA. And my role is a diplomat. And my strategy is confident individualism, apparently. If I always look at both sides of an argument and try and, keep it in the middle. So I guess I'm kind of dull in that way. What are your goals, projects for the future? If one day a company proposes to you to be a full-time producer for a group, what kind of style would you like it to have? That's a great question. I'm pretty much writing a song a week. You end up wanting to try new styles out just simply because you've done that style probably previously. I mean, at the moment, I'm really enjoying writing trap, a lot of the girl crush vibe as well, J-pop, hip-hop track that could have been from the Jet Set Radio soundtrack if you ever played that game. As long as it's got a heavy 808, I'm sold. Concept-wise, I would just like it to be all my favourite stuff outside music. So if it was a concept based on some sort of video game, that would be great. Or a concept based on horror, that would be great. I'll tell you what, actually, if you know Ice Nine Kills, they're kind of a metal band, but they did an entire album based on 80s horror films. I thought that was the coolest concept for an album ever. Alright, this one is from Cheryl. She is a supporting patron. Really appreciate this question, Cheryl. Is there someone that's been a bit like a mentor to you in your journey? yes and no. I've never actually officially ever had a mentor. Like, the closest ones I've had to that were my lecturers when I was studying music years ago. Not until recently, in the last sort of year or two since signing a publishing deal and working with Hybrid Music and then managing me, that's when I really had more of a mentor in my music career. YouTube actually definitely had a mentor, Alex Mukala. He is a reaction channel / analysis channel, kind of like this one, but replaced the K-pop with video games. Definitely check his channel out if you get a chance, but he's helped me through this whole YouTube journey because he's been at it way longer than me. He knows a lot more, and anytime I have a question, he's always open to answering and helping, which I really appreciate. As for music, I think the last 2 years I've really had a real proper mentor. Alright, one from Esteban. Do you have experience in music, not just as a producer, but as a performing artist too? What is one of the experiences or moments you remember the most where you were playing out there? How am I going to say this without sounding super vain? Alright, so one of the best gigs ever that really blew me away was we played in front of about 25 to 30,000 people, and it was all part of that Human Race by Nike, if you remember, quite a while ago. The way that it's set up is we had a temporary stage and they had all the runners running around, but the way they had set up is that all the runners was running towards the stage and then they would turn off at the stage. So you would be playing and look up and you had thousands of people running at you, like clapping and cheering and stuff. I think we were there just to kind of, for support for the runners and stuff, but it was insane. It felt like floating. I can't really describe it any other way. I had a guitar, and just doing a small little gesture like that, strumming a chord, would have this absolutely massive effect across this huge amount of people. If you made it to the end of this video, you are absolutely amazing, and I really appreciate you, and you are a true legend. Onward to 100k. Let's do it. Let's get it.